people try to pull this, I need the money up front, I tell them the DMX story. I paid DMX $15,000, and they insisted on getting it up front. And then once he got the money, he started to move around, and the date got pushed back. I had to call Swizz at one point and get him involved, and Swizz was like, "Yo, like." So they get the call back from that. Okay, no, we'll go schedule it.
Right.
And then DMX dies.
And that was that.
And that was my money. Wow. So when I tell people who want the money up front, I tell them the DMX story. Can you guarantee that your client's not going to die? You can't.
Wow.
So therefore, I can't give you the money up front.
How long ago was this?
This is right before he died. So maybe, 3-4 years ago. Yeah.
What would you have asked OJ, Vlad? Like,
I would have went in.
Yeah, and I know, and that's why you didn't do that shit, because you're like, nah, I'm a teeter-totter on this line a little bit.
No, I would have. I'm pretty good at not having people walk out. After 16, more than 16 years. I've been doing interviews for probably about close to 20 years. I'm pretty good at knowing where the line is.
But when was the last time you pressed?
I press people all the time. All the time. If you watch my Michael Corleone, Blanco video, he cries on 3 different occasions. That's a lot of pressing. Get a grown man to cry, that's not easy to do. But,
I've had a couple tears get shed on the platform.
Do you think right now, did OJ kill those 2 people? Or do you think that, the verdict is the verdict?
I don't think OJ did it.
No?
No.
Do you think he was involved in it?
Involved? Crime of passion, probability. It's kind of tough, man.
Well, I'll say this. I interviewed Kato Caitlin, who was staying at OJ's guest house. Him and OJ got McDonald's right before the murder occurred. And he saw OJ after the murder occurred. And there was no explanation for that period of time. When the murders were occurring, Kato did not see him, even though they were living together. And it got down to what Kato said was when the cops arrived and then they questioned him and they left and they were all kind of hanging out in the main house, and OJ was like, Kato will tell you he was with me the whole time. And Kato was like, oh, I'm out of here. I'm being used for a murder alibi. I'm out. So Kato feels he definitely did it.
That he did it?
Yes.
I don't know.
But we'll never know.
There's so many variables.
We'll never know. There was no deathbed confession, so therefore it is what it is.
You really just never know, bro. You really never know. What if somebody went there looking for OJ or? No,
you don't know. We'll never know at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just going to be a debate for the rest of the time.
What if OJ was protecting a woman he was dating?
Yeah, who knows?
Who said, I'm tired of this chick embarrassing you. I'm going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a theory that his son did it. I mean, we don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody will ever know. Everyone who's involved is probably dead at this point. Unless there was a person we don't know about, it seems like everyone involved is dead.
Why was everybody so fascinated with that shit? Because I was pretty young. I couldn't, why?
I think that, well, number one, there was so much coverage of it. From the Bronco chase, I mean, number one, to OJ being a major celebrity, not only in sports, but also doing movies and commercials and breaking the glass ceiling for, black athletes to kind of get all this high profile stuff.
Right.
To the Bronco chase. I remember watching it live on TV. That shit went on forever.
I remember OJ from the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah, exactly. He was doing movies. Yeah, he was doing movies. He was doing Samsonite commercials, whatever else. To the trial being broadcast every single day for a year. To this mountain of evidence that seemed like he was guilty to ultimately being found not guilty.
Yeah, but the mountain of evidence was some of it was LA, was it LAPD?
LAPD, yeah.
LAPD being corrupt and trying to slam dunk the charge on OJ.
Yeah, Mark Fuhrman is a racist. That was brought out. The glove didn't fit. Johnny Cochran became a legend. And
then he died.
Then he died. Yeah.
Is it true he was working on reparations before he passed?
Probably. He was working on a lot of stuff. I interviewed Todd Bridges. He was represented by, Johnny Cochran. Tupac was represented by Johnny Cochran. You know what I mean? He was doing a lot of big stuff.
Right.
He's got, I think, elementary schools named after him in L.A. Well, rest in peace, Rico Wade from Organized Noize.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I got to interview him once. I got to interview all of Organized Noize together some years back. That was very dope because I was a huge fan of their music. Huge fan. He was he really changed the sound of hip hop.
In what way?
Well, because he even talked about this, how before Organized Noize, hip hop was very much sample based or sparse drums and stuff like that. Those guys, I don't know if it was Rico's dad or one of the other dudes' dads was in a funk group called Brick. So they're around real instrumentation and bands and soul, and so they took that whole soulful live music sound
Right.
and incorporated that into like the Outkast albums, which in turn
Created the sound.
created a sound that was very different from what hip hop had known before. And now it's very commonplace.
Right.
You know, people started to move away from samples. You know, but that really lush instrumentation, you got to give it to Organized Noize.
Yeah.
Think about it. Like the Timberlands and everyone that, the Neptunes, they came after that.
Who else was doing live?
Really nobody. Everyone was sampling. Even if it was live, it was a remake of a sample. These guys were actually creating original soundtracks.
Yeah. I guess because Dre started to do original, instrumentation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But that was before. That was after.
Yeah.
Outkast.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And a lot of the stuff was, like for example, Nothing But a G Thing. That's a straight sample.
Right.
He bought that record. He owns it, the original, and then just basically,
He bought. That was prior. That was before.
If you listen to the original Nothing But a G Thing beat, it's the exact same. It's the exact same thing, and what he realized, he knew how big of a hit it was about to be, so instead of paying to license it, he just bought the original record.
Wow.
Since it was like he probably got it cheap.
Smart man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Outkast.
Yeah.
Different shit.
Well, and finally, hitting close to home, since we're in New York right now, Mister Cee passed away. And I think his funeral's coming up.
Yeah. I met Mr. Cee once.
Wasn't he on your show or no?
Nah, this was years ago when I was like aspiring rapper. He played at a club on Flatbush. I forget the name of it, but it was down there like Avenue H or some shit like that. I don't know. And I was like, yo, Mr. Cee, what's up, man? My name is Math. I rap. Yo, check out my music. He's like, I don't fuck with rappers. I was like, why? It's like babysitting. I don't like that shit.
Okay.
And I was like, damn, see, I was like, okay, all right, cool. But legendary DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, me and him did not have a good history. I'll keep it 100.
You were covering
all the transgender stuff.
Right.
I was covering all the transgender stuff, and then I remember I got an angry phone call from him claiming it's all fake. And I'm like, well, if you want to come in and talk about it, you got a platform. I don't need to talk about it.
Right.
It's all fake. I don't know about this whole he, she. I don't know who that person is.
Right.
And then the tape came out of him actually picking up a transgender on the street.
Right.
And then that's when he quit Hot 97 and everything else like that. And I remember right around that time.
They brought him back.
What's that?
They brought him back, didn't they?
No.
They didn't?
No, he went to some other radio stations and stayed there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I remember around that time when we were covering everything, I remember meeting a rapper who I'm not really close to anymore. We went to Hot 97 because Lisa Evers wanted to interview me for Street Soldiers. And when we showed up, Mister Cee saw me, kind of gave me a dirty look, and then just kind of ran off. And then the rapper I was with called me a couple of days later and said, hey, listen, Flex just called me, and he said, because of my affiliation with you, Mister Cee has banned my music at Hot 97.
Get the fuck out of here.
And when I called Cee to talk to him about it, he said, yeah, that's what I'm doing. He said, you can't, basically bash me and then think that we're going to support anyone that you're cool with. So I said, okay, fine. We'll stop covering you. Then we'll stop talking about this. And all turned out to be true anyways.
Yeah. But you know what? I commend him for having the bravery, ultimately, and actually speaking on it and being honest about it. You know? Yeah. Especially in hip hop. You know, that's something that not everybody feels comfortable with being themselves.
I mean, look, academics feels that the way that Diddy's gonna get out of a lot of this mess is to come forward and say that I'm a bisexual man.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't see it either. Right. But that would be one way to do it. Listen, I'm a bisexual man, and all these allegations, people trying to extort me, but yes, I'm into men also. Look, Mister Cee into transgenders. He's not the first, won't be the last.
But I mean, excuse me, right? Cee was kind of pulling up the corners and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We saw the video.
It was audio.
We heard about that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Diddy's a little. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
I don't know either. I've heard stories.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's speculating. They coming up with this no Diddy shit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and there's nothing.
I don't even want to.
There's nothing illegal about being gay or bisexual.
But what would coming out and saying that stop?
I think what it would stop is I think people are trying to extort him through lawsuits by exposing his sexuality. And if you just say...
Nah, they just that.
Man, listen, the Lil Rod lawsuit is crazy. Did he try to grab my anus and, force me to have sex with him and all this crazy shit? Listen, Wendy Williams got fired from WBLS for bringing up the Diddy gay rumors. This has been going on for a while. And a lot of this is make this go away so this doesn't come out. But if you just come out and say, listen, I'm gay. So whatever y'all got to say is true.
Okay, plot twist. What if he's not?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Only do it if it's true. Well, listen.
I still don't see how that would...
It'll take some edge off it.
I don't get your strategy, bro.
No, listen. Don't
be a lawyer.
I'll put it like this: before Barack Obama ran for office, ran for president, he wrote a book, and in the book he talked about how in college he would sniff as much cocaine as he could get his hands on.
Right.
And when he ran for president, no one brought up the cocaine thing. Because he'd already talked about it. If you bring it up, say, yeah, read my book. Talk all about it. I used to do coke. Don't do it anymore. I used to do it.
I don't think nobody brought it. I think they brought it up and it didn't have an effect.
It didn't have an effect because he already wrote about it.
Right.
Listen, Mister Cee was into transgenders. His funeral's coming up. I wonder if any transgenders will show up to his funeral. I think they should. That's him.
I mean, if that was the lifestyle
if that was the lifestyle he lived, I think all the transgenders that he was dealing with should absolutely show up to his funeral and represent.
I think nobody should be forced to hide themselves. You dig what I'm saying? If that's your thing, that's your thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember I had this conversation with Joe, the episode that he never put out, and I said, "Yo, as a friend."
You had an interview with Joe Budden,
and he never put it out.
Why?
He said that the conversation would have got, the alphabet people involved, and you know what I mean? He was trying to save me.
Are you and Joe cool now? Because someone was saying that y'all got some sort of friction now, or?
We don't got no friction. It is what it is.
So y'all cool now or no?
It's Joe, man. Like, he's podding, man. He's doing his thing. Like, yeah, we don't got no issues, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, we don't got no problems.
Okay.
But I did feel a way that he didn't put that interview out because I was like, yo, what are you talking about? But the argument was, if my friend is a closet homosexual, I should have the right to ask him about it.
Yeah.
Joe made the argument, no, you don't. You don't have that right. But my argument was like, if we're really friends,
Yeah.
I would want you to know you don't have to hide that from me.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? I feel like, when you're around certain people that know certain things about you, it's a safe place. It's like you can exhale. Like, if you ever dated a dyke before, or someone who's well known to everyone as a lesbian, you know what I mean? You being the guy that knows, oh, you still like dick. It's like an exhale when y'all alone. Like, she doesn't have to keep up this shit no more. You know what I mean? So that's the perspective I was looking at it. So I'm like, yo, do what you do. Like, ultimately, nobody's gonna give a fuck. Real shit.
Yeah.